with your parlor pricks.
Let's begin.
Welcome back. Love it. Welcome back to Politics. That is the voice of the intro. Lou Perez right there, picking that up. I mean, I think Brian's going to trim that down a little bit, but I don't know.
I know. Yeah, he needs to. I still haven't made us an outro with it. It's going to be the entire minute 40 long song again.
It's a club mix, just keep going because people just want to dance to it.
What's longer, this or Rock Lobster? Both incredibly long songs.
Did you guys pick up was there snoring in there? Did Brian mix in some of his own snoring? I don't know.
I am.
Did. That's next level.
I'm not on top of my game today. As I mentioned, don't become friends with people who own bars, and don't let them tell you to come out on a Wednesday night for a comedy show that starts at 7:30, and you think in your brain, I'll be home by 10. That's fine. No problem. And then you find yourself with the staff at the bar and the lights are out and the chairs are on the tables and you're doing shots of Patron, which I hate. And then you find yourself on a show the next day and you have to talk to two people you love, but who are clearly assholes who want to give you the biz. I deserve it. I deserve the biz.
I'd hate when I would go to a bar and they'd be like, they would already buy the shots and it would be Jaeger. And I'm like, oh, come on. Oh, dude.
What year is it?
I know. It's like I'm 30 something. What are we doing here?
Well, wait, I'll tell this story quick and then we'll get to the politicking. We had in our fraternity, John and I, Odie, did you partake in the drinking obstacle course? Or was that before you?
No, that was, the one. Yeah, the big one you guys did, that was before us. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the worst. So we had a drinking obstacle course in the front yard. This is like school's over, everybody's about to leave. We just set up an obstacle course where you had to start, you beer bong a funnel of beer, and then you run to a bush, and in the bush is hidden, I believe, a rum and coke. You find the drink, you chug it. Then you have to run to the other bushes by the mailbox, find a different drink, which I think was a whiskey ginger, chug it. Then you had to run back to a flagpole, which had two drinks on it. And this is where everybody threw up except me and one other person. You had to chug. We called it double trouble. It was a gin and juice and a screwdriver.
I would throw up the gin and juice for sure.
Oh, it was horrible because the orange juice, the acidity of the orange juice. So you chug both of those. Then you had to run to the mailbox in which there was a mystery shot. But I knew what the mystery shot was, which was, if you can imagine a more disgusting herb liquor made in Germany than Jägermeister, and I can't remember what it was called, Schnagenblogger, then you had to do that shot, and then you were finished. And it was horrible.
And people might listen to this and be like, oh, were you hazing your pledges doing this? But no, this is just voluntary people doing it.
Voluntary self-hazing. Yeah, voluntary self-hazing. Just, fertilizing the grass with chunks of half-digested food.
And it's like, wait a minute. So I'm not even getting into a frat and I'm doing this? What's going on? And why am I naked and we're doing elephant walks and stuff?
Hey, you joined the frat, benefits and privileges. It's like Ralphie in A Christmas Story. Benefits and privileges at such a young age. Same thing. And I've killed the show once again. That's it.
Is anybody anybody listening and drinking irresponsibly right now?
I hope so. Somebody's got to be. In China, it's late. It's nighttime in China. Our Chinese contingent is represented.
There's probably at least one or two alcoholic Lions fans out there who just have nothing to do, just sitting there drinking. If you are, please comment. Let us know. Let us know what you're drinking.
Yeah. We need a liquor sponsor too. All right, get into it. Let's go. Odie, you're leading the show today. I'm just going to sit here and
leading the show. But you guys gave all the topics, so I'll blindly make my way through this.
Maybe not. Okay, no problem.
So, yeah, the first one. So big win apparently for people on YouTube and people like us here at Lions of Liberty who are are shadow banned. Apparently, there's been a ruling by the House Judiciary. I guess there was something passed. I don't know. Google committed to offer all creators previously kicked off YouTube due to political speech on the topics of COVID-19 that they can return to the platform. So I didn't know there were still people who weren't allowed on the platform. I thought that was Google already switched it up, but I guess not. It came out with this, I guess this is a House inquiry, that the Biden administration pressured Google into censoring Americans, removing content that did not violate their policies. That was a known fact. The Biden admin also censored, or Biden administration censorship pressure was that unacceptable and wrong. Of course it was. Public debate should never come at the expense of relying authorities. The company will never use third-party fact checkers. In Europe's censorship laws target American companies and threaten American speech, including removal of lawful content. I mean, I don't know. I think this is more PR than anything else. Google has shifted the way that they really make money from monetizing, little people like us, people like us with our shows here. And,
well, they didn't make money off us because we were demonetized for a decade, where they kept giving us strike after strike and not letting us post for 10 days while shadow banning the channel. So,
well, they used to make money off people like us who didn't talk about COVID and no things, and they built a following and you could make money. Now they're just making money off of, large corporate brands who are, doing the same thing. But anyway, I don't know. What do you guys think about this?
Well, I think, so a couple of things. One, it's pretty convenient that, Google gets to blame the Biden administration and pretend as though they didn't agree with the Biden administration on this stuff. They get to say, oh, the only reason why we did this is because of, pressure from the Biden admin, as opposed to, yeah, we really wanted to shut these fucking people up. And we did, and now we're going to make things. Now we're going to make things right. It'd be like, Brian doing that, drinking, game and saying like, I didn't want to go and drink all this stuff, but one of the guys I'm with is a cop, and he was like, we got to do this.
That's exactly how it went down.
Yeah, but also it's like. When you think about like what kind of damages can be claimed here too. I mean, the amount of money, that people missed out on, I mean, can there be a claim there? Is there going to be like a class action lawsuit settlement? How do you even, come up with what that would be? And then also like, you had a lot of the channels that were removed outright or demonetized, but then it changed so much about the way all the other channels would even discuss these topics. Because I remember there was a time where even using the word like vaccination might get you dinged. So I remember like one guy was saying vacation, so he would call the vaccination a vacation to get around it. So it's, or another example is just might be a little different, but how people don't say kill anymore. They say unalive, right? So even like there are other ramifications that happened, other ripples that happened from this kind of censorship,
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and to your point, Google's like, oh, Biden admin, as I mentioned, we were demonetized 10 years ago. Yeah, this has been going on forever. Google's people were so left wing, they would just seek out and destroy your content if you dared to go against the narrative. But also, I love that they're like, all right, we're going to allow people back on that were taken off. And like I say, this is under the auspices of COVID. But Alex Jones, who is the poster child for big tech coordination with government to eliminate somebody, right? He got removed from YouTube, Apple, like all at once, coincidentally in the same week. He just created a new channel, as did Nick Fuentes, and they both got removed immediately. So they say this, to Odie's point, they say this garbage. Everybody goes, oh, look, well, we were right, which we all knew all along. And then they immediately go back on what they just said and take people off because they are persona non grata within the leftist sphere and the narrative sphere. So it's just all BS.
I agree. All BS. But one thing that's not BS is what Donald Trump just did at the White House. Like that transition.
Oh, look at that. Pulling out the transitions.
So they have I didn't know they had this. They have every past president picture on the wall at the White House. That I think it's on the walkway that goes outside. Every president is there. Every single one, except one, Joe Biden. And in Joe Biden's place, Donald Trump put a picture of an Autopen.
Hey, look, whatever you think about Donald Trump, funniest president we've ever had by far. I mean, expert level trolling. To do that is hilarious. I mean, look, I'm not saying that a president should do it, right? If we're being empirical, I would say that a president shouldn't put a picture of an Autopen in that hallway, but damn, is it funny and damn, is it accurate. God bless Donald Trump. Hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of speechless where I'm like, this is really happening, and I sort of, I wonder sometimes, obviously there's a lot of stuff like, is this beneath, the office of the president to do this? But he's sort of communicating on, these platforms where it's sort of like, have kind of been like beneath, I don't know, just the way people, I don't know what I'm so sorry. I can't believe we're live.
Are you hungover?
I know.
I feel like I'm putting my thoughts together
vibes
amazingly well for my state of being, and you can barely speak.
Well,
here.
I guess what I'm saying is like this kind of stuff does so well on the platforms where it's shared, where it's like it's really speaking the language. So anybody who's working for Trump, like in the comms department or anything like that, they know exactly the audience there and how it's going to impact. I mean, one thing though, I'm surprised that I haven't seen more, kind of like left leaning publications and stuff like kind of take the bait. Like I haven't seen anybody commenting on it. I haven't seen a roundtable, on CNN talking about how ridiculous this is. Because I think maybe there's a reason why they aren't taking the bait, because then I guess they would have to admit, for however many years, Biden was using the Autopen, which I didn't even. The first time I heard about an Autopen was, under the Biden administration. Like I had no idea that was an actual thing. So yeah, I mean it's, and then we also have like JD Vance responding to criticism of him with the meme, the JD Vance meme and stuff.
That was awesome.
Yeah. Well, so I like that also the Autopen. You'll notice that there's no cap on the Autopen because Hunter Biden took the cap to do bumps of coke with.
Wow.
Yeah, I think it goes back to what you were talking about there, Lou. This administration really does understand their target audience, right? What the hardcore Megites, what they want to see, and I'm sure they're lapping this up. I mean, and like you said, like the left, what can they do? Have a panel about how ridiculous it is that Donald Trump put a picture of an Autopen in Joe Biden's place, and then you got to talk about, but actually he was using Autopen for all of these pardons, and that's a whole conversation they don't want to even see the light of day. So I don't know. The interesting thing is I wonder how like someone like, for example, like my mother, who like is a independent minded voter, she kind of votes either way depending on how she feels, how like that segment of the population, like the swing voter, how they would feel about something like this. Would they be like super turned off by it, or do they not even hear about it because they're really not talking about it in the mainstream media? So maybe this is something that just kind of lives on Twitter and podcasts like this and doesn't really make it out there.
Well, that's the thing though. It's like you wonder, to your point, how many independents are on X? And I think a lot, right? X is the number one news outlet in the world at this point. How many liberals have heard about it? Because as you mentioned, I saw an article on CNN. So CNN posted about it, but it's not being amplified. It's not being paneled. But the Blue Sky people, I'd be curious. I don't have a Blue Sky account to see if they're freaking out about it. I'm sure they know about it. I'm sure it's used as fuel for them to be like, what an asshole. But yeah, you have to adjust the elephant in the room. The guy wasn't there. The Autopen was active. Joe Biden, I heard also, can't even get speaking engagements. Unlike every other president in the history, right? They go on to make millions of dollars in speaking engagements. Not Joe, because no one will hire him because they know they're getting a doddering goofball. What's he going to go up there and say? Like, you have to have the Biden clone everybody was talking about go up and actually give a speech. So, yeah, it raises the very serious concern. That's why it's so genius. I mean, Trump, like I said, whatever you want to say about Trump, this is unbelievably clever. It is definitely beneath the office of the president, but we're in a different genre of presidents now. Like Obama, I think was the first one who kind of broke the barrier because Obama started going on the Late Show, the Tonight Show, and doing like the more culturally approachable shows. So he really, if you want to blame somebody, blame Obama because he broke that barrier. Right. He broke the color barrier. He broke the cultural barrier. He started all this of, hey, I'm going to go out there. I'm going to joke around. I'm going to take it and engage with you on a different level instead of being the president who is above talking to Jimmy Kimmel.
So what you're saying is everything was going great with presidents. Then they let a black guy in and screwed it all up.
Thanks, Obama.
Well, I think with Obama, I think, even when he's going on those shows, like I think his appearance on like Between Two Ferns and stuff, I mean, he's very funny and he has great timing. The Between Two Ferns thing, I bring it up. It's really just a great bit. And then it's used to promote Obamacare, which then it becomes like propaganda and whatever. But I would still argue that like Obama is still a serious person, whereas I think the Trump administration are treating Biden as an unserious person, and I think for good reason. And I think even what came out lately with Kamala Harris's book, it's like she's not a serious person, and it's sort of like it seems like the country is sort of done elevating unserious people, or at least treating unserious people with respect that they don't deserve. Like when Kamala Harris, like when she has a book out where she openly admits that she didn't run with the gay guy because he's gay, and
I loved your tweet on that, by the way. Sorry, I'm going to butcher it. It's not that she didn't want to run with a gay guy. It's that this was too important to run with a gay guy, right?
With a gay guy.
Not enough time to run with a gay guy.
Yeah, and also putting it on like the voters, like, oh, the voters weren't ready for this. And then other people have pointed out, yeah, but then you go with Tim Walz, who seems gayer than Pete Buttigieg anyway. But it's like this. I don't know how fucking people allow, their book to go out with all this shit in it, with so much incriminating, it's like you have final say over your book. I think, you're the fucking vice president of the United States. You don't want that shit getting out there, like even the Nixon tapes came out after he died. Right. I mean, so.
No, I think it just tells you that I think there's people very close to Kamala Harris who don't like her.
Yeah. There was a great tweet somebody put out. It's like, I'm pretty sure Kamala Harris ghostwriter hates her. Like she clearly didn't read the book before it came out, right? If she did, there's no way in hell you put that book out. They knew she wasn't going to read it or didn't have the mental comprehension to understand what they were saying. Because the stuff they're like her, berating her staff for not being prepared. Like the one I read is her going to through grit teeth. She did a Dr. Phil interview, and they asked her some innocuous question she didn't know the answer to, and she comes back. She goes, "What the fuck was that?" And you're like, why would you put that in your book? Right. In what light does this make you look like a serious person? Anybody relatable? Idiot.
Oh. All right.
The show again.
Moving on. After your comment is like, it's like the end of the topic. So it's
I was just going to say that I think Brian can relate to Kamala's drinking. I think that's probably the one thing you guys see eye to eye.
Absolutely. She and I, it's kind of like, you vote for a president you want to drink with. I'm not going to lie. I would go drinking with Kamala Harris. I bet she's a hoot. I bet it'd be an awesome time. And I guarantee she could drink me under the table.
Yeah, and you feel comfortable snapping your fingers when you're dancing and shit.
Oh yeah, doing the Elaine dance.
That's the only way I dance. You kidding me? Next one we got here. I don't know which one of you sent this one over, but I'd seen this too. That Apple TV postponed the premiere of Jessica Chastain's drama, The Savant, offering another chilling example of how business giants are running scared of the Trump administration and bowing to pressure before it even exists. And then down below, there's I guess the writer of this show. Is that what it is?
Oh yeah. Share that picture. I posted it in there. So I'll go off for this a little bit.
Wait, she wrote the show?
No, not Kamala Harris.
Oh,
that would be amazing. That's her transition. No, this is the author of this article in Variety. It's so funny to read her bio. So the whole article is like, oh my God, I can't believe they did this. And these GOP and censorship and Trump pressure. Cancel The Savant. Never mind. The Savant, to tell everybody what The Savant was. It's the meme that had Jessica Chastain in the glasses over the computer that everybody made fun of, because it's the entire premise of the show is that it's this chick who makes it her mission is to seek out extremist groups. And of course, they're all going to be white extremists, right? Online through social media posts. And to think that this show is going to land in this culture, in this time, after all we've been through, after all the demonization, after, extremism, what's going on in the UK with censorship and arresting people for social media memes, they think that this show is being censored instead of Apple going, we can't put this out. It'll be memed to death. No one's going to watch it except to make fun of it. It would land like a cultural wet turd, like a homeless person having diarrhea in San Francisco on the street. People will look at it as the joke it is and try not to step in it. And this person saying that somehow they censored it because of Trump. It's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. And then I was like, who wrote this? And somebody posted it. So I'll read Aramide Tinubu. She is a black lady.
It's a real name. Brian didn't just make up this name.
Yeah, I didn't have a drunk stroke there. Aramide Tinubu. Here is her bio. And I don't know how the hell she got into writing TV critical reviews for Variety. It makes no sense. But Aramide Tinubu is a TV critic at Variety, where she writes reviews, columns, and features for the magazine. As a journalist, her work has been published in Essence, Bustle, Shadow, and Act, IndieWire, and The Hollywood Reporter. She wrote her master's thesis on Black girlhood, adultification. How do you write a thesis on Black girlhood and then adultification and parental loss in contemporary Black American cinema? So that's her background.
What does that last thing even mean? Parental loss in contemporary Black American cinema. What does that?
Is that orphans? It's like,
is that Medea? Is it about Medea and grandmas? She's like, this is what we need. Medea takes America. Like, how are these people taken seriously? How do they hire somebody that has that as their thesis and think that they're going to do anything honest? It's absurd. It's absurd.
I have a theory. It runs a little counter. I think they got rid of the show. They canned it because The Savant and all the stuff about Tylenol and autism.
Tylenol Americans.
So maybe they're like, look, we need to change up the title at least. But I want to see the show. I can't believe that it hasn't been leaked. That someone hasn't leaked at least the first episode. I think that the trailer is probably still out there, to watch. But yeah, man. I don't know.
Well, the rumor that I heard was that there was like a Charlie Kirk type, character who was, one of these terrorists or whatever.
Episodes 1 through 5, the Charlie Kirk story. I just want to go back real quick to Tylenol Americans. The funniest thing, like the youth are converted. The youth are no longer buying the leftist narrative, because immediately after the Tylenol thing came out, there's reports that in all the schools, all the boys are calling each other Tylenol Americans instead of saying retard. Amazing.
I replied the other day on Twitter, or maybe it was Facebook, to Spike Cohen's post, and he was talking about how don't refer to me as being autistic, refer to me as a Tylenol American. And I was saying, is the Libertarian Party now going to replace the porcupine with a bottle of Tylenol?
We can get sponsorship finally for our conventions.
Yeah.
Big corporate sponsors.
Do you guys believe that there are actually pregnant women out there popping these Tylenols as a fuck you, or is it just a bit, a show?
I mean, I think there's pregnant women who are at least pretending to. It's happening on TikTok, right? They were holding the bottle of Tylenol and taking it. I mean, I saw somebody post that I got a call from a friend who connected me with their daughter who's having liver failure because she, took a bottle of Tylenol in order to try to prove to Trump that it's safe for a pregnant woman to take. I don't really believe those stories. That kind of reminds me of like the ivermectin stories back during COVID when they were saying like people are dying in hospitals and emergency rooms are overflowing for people eating tubes of ivermectin. That wasn't true. So I kind of doubt that it's true to that extent.
I mean, I think that, the taking Tylenol to go to the hospital is BS. But no, I believe 100% that these idiot TikToking liberals are eating Tylenol. They go, okay, whatever. I'll take 3 Tylenol. But the thing is, and I talked about this on Mean Age Daydream and showed the videos of these people, I 1000% believe that they think they're owning the GOP by doing it. Right. But it's one of those things I raised, like, even if you don't believe it, right? Why would you endanger your child unnecessarily? Like, why wouldn't you just take it at face value and go, okay, maybe there's something there? And then you also see Tylenol tweeting out, we have never said pregnant women should take Tylenol. They tweeted this yesterday.
No, in 2017, they tweeted that, pregnant women should avoid Tylenol, something like that. But recently they're kind of coming out saying that pregnant women can take Tylenol. But I thought it was always the case. I thought it was always the case that pregnant women shouldn't take Tylenol.
Well, you shouldn't take anything all the time, but you think about it, like my wife took Tylenol because the doctor said you can take Tylenol. Don't take ibuprofen, right? They emphasize that, but she took Tylenol and not a ton of it. But you think of like the aches and pains of being a pregnant lady, which we can all relate to as men.
We've all had a cold before, so
exactly. These women, they whine all the time. No, so you imagine the aches and pains of Tylenols. You're popping it, and let's say you take 2 a day just because your back's sore. I'm sure that happens all the time. You're told it's safe. So if you're these women now popping it, why would you not just be like, I'll rein it in. I'll take it if it's an emergency. It's kind of like I made this comparison: drinking and smoking. You can drink and smoke when you have a baby in your belly. They did it all through the 70s. Yeah, people turned out pretty much fine, but you probably shouldn't. So now women don't, but you can have a glass of wine. You can have a cigarette once in a while if you want to, but you probably shouldn't to worry about the health of your child. Same thing with Tylenol. So for these idiots to do it, like, can you imagine if these women had an autistic kid now and they are on TikTok, pop up Tylenol, like the amount of self-loathing you would have.
Or they're like, you know what? I'm going to pop this thalidomide. I don't give a shit. I'm going to pop that in right now. Well, yeah, it's the idea of, of who are you owning by potentially hurting your, either yourself or your your offspring, because I've seen stuff like this before where it's like, these think pieces about how like exercise is being is coded for white supremacy, or protein is coded for white supremacy, and it's like wow, you're staying obese to own the fascists. Like, wow, there's nothing more that will hurt the fascists than for you getting diabetes or whatever. And it's like, no, what you should actually be saying is, you know what, I'm going to show you people who I disagree with that, I'm here to stay, and I'm going to be, choosing the healthiest, options to make sure I'm still around to, annoy you on these social media platforms.
They go full right wing. They work out all the time. Join the Nazi party. That'll teach us.
Well, that's the way they need to change the Nazi party from the inside out. You need to get in there.
You got to go full Nazi first.
Like the way the left took over academia. Do it with the Nazis.
All right. Once again, Brian has ended a topic. We got a cap on that one, and we're on to the next.
There's so many just hard, like we know where the edits are. The edits is Brian talks 3. Brian started 3, 2, 1, and we're out on to the next segment. Let's go.
Commercial break.
Yeah.
Commercial
Eventually,
break.
when we have a producer, it's going to be amazing. We'll just time it up right up.
We're
right
gonna get
off.
that Tylenol break right now. So everybody popping Tylenol right now. So.
All right. Next one here. I don't know which one of you sent this one either.
I think I sent this. This one. It's probably worth reading or performing in its entirety. So
it's so funny. God,
yeah.
It's so funny.
Can we zoom in a little bit?
I believe so.
So this one is it comes via Naren Hutt, via Jesse Single. I don't think Jesse's a friend of the show, but he's a friend of mine. So let's see. So Blue Stockings Cooperative will be closing as of today. The current, former worker owners and staff part of the unsetting crew are gutted to be delivering this sunsetting crew. I just learned how to read, really. After 26 plus years of serving marginalized communities as an independent feminist bookstore, event hub, and all-around radical community space, the daily operations are unfortunately no longer sustainable on multiple fronts. So before we go to the next thing, a commenter pointed out that not only is it a bookstore, but it's also, I guess, where they have like Narcan available. So anytime a junkie is ODing, they can go into this bookstore and I'm sure get some really great some really great queer authors, and then get some queer Narcan and to save some lives. So there's that. And as it turns out, it's like, I like to support local bookstores. It's a shame that, this thing's closing down, whatever you think about them. It's tough to be a bookstore, independent bookstore in a big city, for sure. Even if you do have enough Narcan on hand to dish out. But then as it goes, somebody commented and said, quote, from a current worker steward who is one of 3 people keeping the shop going for the last year, definitely not an owner, because the legal owners flex their violent legal force by making this decision with no input from 3 of us that had been holding it down. This is a bookstore, mind you, and this is how the person who works at the bookstore writes, which is great. A couple of clarifications: this decision was not made with any of the 3 brown folks currently stewarding.
Wait. Sorry to stop you.
Yep.
To be clear, folks spelled with an X.
Of course.
So here's how stupid I am. I didn't know what they were trying to do there with the FOLX. I'm like, what is that? Is that an acronym?
It's like Malcolm X. Malcolm X was the first non-binary person in the civil rights movement.
Is it like Latinx, except this is the black version of Latinx?
I think so. So let's see. They were notified of this, quote, sunsetting this morning, and most access was revoked, passwords changed. They are working to revoke access now. The stewards have reached out through multiple avenues to see if they can legally take over the business to keep it going, and holding out hope that this bears out. The folks who decided to shut it down haven't been involved for the past year and very unaware of all the behind-the-scenes work we've been doing to get us in a sound place, including turning into a multi-stakeholder cooperative. This was an extremely violent move, and these legal owners are casting it as a tough decision by all, when that's not the case. I believe there's another photo. There's another response. But
this one's even better. This is even better.
Yeah. I want to. Let's read that one, and then we can kind of go in deeper on this. So the next one says, "Hi, whatever the fuck that name is. Worker owner steward here. My collective of in-store workers, all melanated POC, people of color, did not make this decision."
Melanated. Have you ever heard that in your life? Sorry.
Yeah. Oh man, it's like marinated, but melanated. The white folks on the lease, who are former worker owners, made this decision without consulting any of us. Hold the white folks attempting to act like this was a collective process accountable. This is false and white violence. We're getting locked out of our emails, the store Instagram, the website, etc.
Not the Instagram.
Not the Instagram. So a couple. I can't wait to hear what you guys have to say. But a few things, right? One, I love when someone uses a word like steward. Like suddenly, it gives so much more importance to the role that they have. And then I also love the idea of violence, which is pretty great. So in the previous one, violence is kind of like more of a general thing, whereas then we come to what it really is, which is white violence. And I also love that here they are talking about how they have been the real stewards and and running shop for the last year. Oh, and it just turns out that it's going out of business. So maybe you guys aren't the best fucking stewards to be doing this. And as maybe there's too much of an emphasis on being melanated POC and not being, I don't know, educated POC or whatever the fuck you want to call it.
Dude, exactly. Thank you. I think the same thing. These people want to take over the shop. You ran it into the ground.
Yeah.
You ran. Did you allow white people in the stores? What about, like, was there a melanin counter? Like, you go through the security checks to get into stadiums and the airport, the metal detectors. They got a melanin detector. They flag you like you're lacking a little melanin. Why don't you go outside, go in the sun, sit for a while, get a tan, come back.
It's a paper bag. They do a paper bag test like they used to do back in the day.
Yeah. You come in. I mean, and the X thing cracks me up. The first person messed up in theirs because they called the white folks with an X. The second person made sure to use the S for white folks. But it's just so funny. So these people that opened the feminist bookstore hired all you people. Let's not forget, hired you, employed you to run the store to the ground. They're the white violence right there. The people that paid your bills, paid your salary, that's who committed white violence against you. No goodwill. They didn't build up any small well of goodwill over the years. And I'm sure they had all sorts of, whatever, safe spaces, free chai tea, maybe some Rubos tea for these idiots. And now that white violence. Can you imagine if they didn't shut them out of the Instagram, by the way?
Right.
That's the first thing you do. It's like
well, also just think about it. At no point does this folk what would be a K? I don't know what you would spell this folk, this person, this melanated human being. At no point were they like, yeah, we offered to buy the business. Yeah. There's no talk of money. It's just talk of like, yeah, maybe we could have taken this over. Blah blah blah.
Hey, just give it to us.
Yeah, just for free. It's a gift.
It's bookstore welfare.
I think it's interesting. So this place apparently was in operation for 26 years.
26 plus. And at first I thought the plus was like a LGBTQ plus thing.
But I wonder, so it seems like they took it over a year ago. So 25 years you're running strong. They take it over. A year later, they're out of business. So it seems pretty clear what happened here. They just didn't know what the heck they were doing. Who knows the backstory with these owners? Maybe they got sick or something, had to step back, and they, entrusted these maybe longtime employees to take it over. And maybe once they stepped in, they got super radical and scared everybody away. I don't know. Just speculating.
You know what they should have done? The bookstore should have just identified as a successful bookstore.
That's all you have to do.
Just have it like just call it Barnes and Noble, but just put an X where just willy nilly
anywhere in the middle. Yeah.
Walden Books with an X.
Nice.
Nobody knows what Walden Books is anymore. It was a store.
Do we know when this is when this had they closed down already? Because it'd be wild to just visit and see what kind of shenanigans are happening there.
Is it in New York?
I think so. Yeah.
Can we send you as a man on the street?
Yeah.
Let's look it up. Blue
Stockings Cooperative.
You're a POC. You're not overly melanined, but you're definitely a POC.
I would say though, if you are a bookstore, you might want to change the name of your store from something other than Blue Stockings, because I bet a number of people were walking in there thinking they were going to get some garments, and they're like, oh, this is just here's like Robin DiAngelo. Here's a whole wall dedicated to her.
Well, here
Just
we
think
go.
how great.
Here's your Blue Stockings Cooperative, a queer trans SW
Suffolk
or
Street. Wow. It's down.
cooperatively owned activist bookstore cafe in New York City.
What's this dude's face?
There you
What's
go.
this dude's face? Oh yeah. Go on that. Can you click on that first one? That isn't that the dude who murdered the cop?
Oh,
I don't know. Probably looks like that from the picture.
I think there was a young black man who died at the hand of a police officer, and then his father, rather than hunting down the police officer who killed his child, decided to murder a random police officer. And look how I think that's who it is. If I'm wrong, then that's okay. I don't mind being wrong about
the
this.
folks will be after you if you're.
Yeah.
So I wasn't laughing at what you were saying, though. I was laughing at this first comment here.
Nobody
Did you guys
does.
read this?
What's it say?
From MX. I don't know how to say that. Hi, where can I find info about your co-op staff? Trying to understand where folks sit on the hierarchy and if my money would be going to a bunch of white people. Thanks. This was 11 weeks
That's
ago.
great.
Can I point out too, by the way, if you know a lot about the LGBTQI quote trans space, you also know that trans people find feminists in the traditional sense to be also enactors of violence, like TERFs. So if you're a feminist bookstore that's built your brand on feminism, then you change and hire all these people that are trans, LGBTQI, whatever, that hate everything you stand for. Not a recipe for success as a business.
Yeah. So
No
this
repeat
is an
customer.
example of the left eating the left, it seems then.
Yeah, I think it's amazing. I am still just comedies. I think it's tough to watch a comedy and to laugh. But when I see this stuff played out in real life, it's the funniest shit. It's just so it's so good. And also, I think something that we need to really hammer home is like how wonderful do we have it? Whether you're a white or a person of color or more melanated than anybody, where your idea of violence is a shitty hippie bookstore closing down because you guys fucked up because they can't make the money to do it. I think that's fucking great. Like that's your idea of violence. It's fantastic.
Just imagine the amount of bruises they get from watching a show like Friends.
There we go. Once again, right on cue. Next topic.
Oh, there's another one.
Yeah, this I don't know who sent this one either, but this I've read. I definitely
What do
read
you
this
do
book.
here, Odie? What do you do here?
Well, Odie, I think we could cue it up by saying, now here's a book you probably won't find in your blue stocking bookstore. It's a children's book called Love You Forever, written by Robert Munch, illustrated by Sheila McGraw.
Do you guys have this book for your kids?
Yeah, I have a good friend of mine, a lovely Canadian. She gave my kids this one and a number of other books, and this one is definitely the weirdest.
This is the one at the very end of it. It's where it's like this whole circle of life, right? Where at the end of it, it's the child caring for his elderly mother. Is that right?
It might be. Yeah, it's a little disturbing. I think I've read it once to my kid, not to both of them, just to one of them. And I did the thing where I creeped out my wife because I started, I sang it rather than just reading it. And it was like, I'll love you forever. And it's, this is definitely not a favorite.
It reminded her too much of your wedding night.
Oh, way too much. I can't come unless I sing.
Here's
it's
a
musical
finger.
theater.
Don't worry where it's going. I didn't tell you about my fetish before we got married.
Oh, it's my first time. I've never done this before.
Oops, I'm done. I'll be on the couch eating potato chips.
I married a dancer. Yeah, so it's not all fun and games. John, can you explain? Can you explain why I sent? Can you explain why I sent this to you?
Not all fun and games. If you're watching on the video, you can see the cover there of "Love You Forever." A happy toddler there playing with toilet paper, which I think we've all seen happen. Yeah. But the unhappy part here is the Canadian author of this book Robert Munch. He has dementia, and in Canada, you have dementia. Well, they can euthanize you. So it
They're
looks
going to
like
make him into Robert Mulch.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Just end the show there. That's it. Okay. See you next week. No, I don't know. I mean, we're going to get into the whole assisted suicide talk, because I don't like it. I think it's like when you get into what they're doing in Canada with universal health care, and then, sorry, it's 2 months to see a doctor, maybe 6 months to see a doctor, or we could just kill you. That's cheaper. It saves the country money. I just think it's a dangerous path to go down.
It's a dangerous path to go down. I don't want to die. The future.
Was that your wife singing back to you on your wedding night?
Yeah, that
coming soon. Lions of Liberty, the musical.
The musical. Yeah, I'm for people being able, like the Kevorkian thing, right? If you have a terminal illness and you want to end your life, I think you should be able to. I think the government should have zero role in that. But it is perversely dark and hilarious. I weep for the day that we find out that the author of Everyone Poops has been flushed down the toilet. Well, see you guys in 2 weeks.
I feel like you just euthanized this podcast.
It had to be put down. Someone had to do it.
Well,
Brian, do you think when people die, they either turn into mulch or they're flushed down the toilet? There's other options,
Well, expensive options. If you mulch them,
they're all expensive.
I've always been a fan of mulching the homeless. You beautify your neighborhood. You put it on the medians, and fantastic. And then flush something down the toilet. I mean, I have a pretty big toilet hole. I'm just saying, if I go, save the money, just chop me up and flush me. I'll write it in the contract. I give you permission.
Chop me up and flush me.
Chop me up and flush me.
That's the title of the musical.
Where I'll go.
Chop me up and flush me.
Hope out to the ocean. Well, you guys are familiar with Scott Adams, right? So Scott Adams was diagnosed with a really virulent form of cancer, and he was in pain for like months and months and months. And he was getting ready to kind of planning the day of that he would, take his own life, that he would be euthanized. And he talked about it recently, I think on, was it Jesse Lee Peterson? I think might be the Jesse Lee Peters, Jesse Lee Peterson. My apologies. I know he's a fan of the show. But then he talked about Scott ended up doing some new treatment that was like blocking, I think, testosterone.
Yeah. And
his pain went away within a week. And, thankfully he no longer has that date on his calendar. And look, I know that, not every case is that miraculous, but I don't know. I just feel like with what I've been hearing about Canada and what they've been using to justify euthanasia, like, oh, so-and-so is homeless and blah, blah, and it's like they're in their 20s and they're looking to be euthanized. I just think that it does cheapen life and the way that people view it. And, I feel like, libertarians so often get accused of like viewing people as like dollars and cents or being materialists, et cetera. Or like, oh, you're doing a cost benefit analysis of this thing. Like you don't see people as people. And I think it's almost like, when you view people as just sort of like consumers or just, sort of comparing them to like scarcity, like, well, we don't have the resources to take care of this guy, so the easier thing to do is just to get rid of them, as opposed to,
especially if they're tax slaves, right? So when you're a tax slave, you're no longer putting into the system because you're not working, you've got a disease. So what good are you to us? You're costing us money rather than making us money. So here you go, euthanized.
Yeah.
And I mean, to go full circle on this one, this guy writes a book, Love You Forever, and he has dementia. I'm assuming he has children. And do they have to sign off on it? I mean, there's got to be a power of attorney.
Right.
Do they love their dad forever? I mean, doesn't seem like it. I don't know.
Yeah, and I don't know how far along he is. Again, I don't like his book. So I mean, as far as I'm concerned, he probably had it when he wrote this book. But
well, I guess that's it, guys. Pretty good show, huh?
Yeah, uplifting end.
We have a comment from somebody. Did you see the comment in the comment section?
Yeah, I shared it. B.
Oh, you
love
did.
B.
B.
You guys crack me up. Thank you.
Long-time listener, watcher on YouTube. Yeah,
that's right.
One of the few people who was able to navigate the YouTube algorithm and find us. So we appreciate that.
I know. I'd be very curious to hear how B possibly came across us. She's in the UK too.
Yeah,
double shock. She's gonna be arrested immediately after watching this.
Right.
Immediately arrested.
Yeah, yeah. B. Make sure you have the right opinion when it comes to an Islamist stabbing somebody for burning a Quran and getting off.
I hope you're using a VPN, B.
Yeah.
Hide that IP address.
Yeah. So, Brian, you're going to go drinking tonight, or what's the plan?
Well, I have the first episode podcast tonight, so I probably will have a drink.
All right,
I'm going to have a nap first. Then we'll see what happens.
Brian's hungover now, and next time you see him, probably be hungover then.
Yep. Or
that's all we got.
Brian McWilliams story.
I'll love you forever.
more martini than man, Brian McWilliams. But we'll see you guys next week. Well, in 2 weeks here on Politics. Be sure to subscribe to the solo Politics feed that we have. Helps us out. Helps us to get it out there to more people in the algorithm. And check us out. If you like our content, want the bonus content, go to Patreon or Locals and join up. Do we have the new name yet? Are we releasing the new name of our...
I think so. I have to change it officially. But yeah, if you want to join our Patreon, we used to call it the Pride. Now it will be the Politicks in honor of Lou's fantastic song. It's the Politicks. That's our supporter group. Join up. I'll rename it very soon. Don't worry.
All right. See you guys in 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah. Politics, more like politricks with your polipricks. Oh, yeah. Politics with your polipricks. Throw your hands up. Oh, yeah. Who this? Politics with your polipricks.